So, the state of things going on in politics. Let's go have an update on that. So, you're watching this video, so you just seen the one about Roblox. So, this one isn't going to be Roblox related. Alright, let's have an update on currently what's going on in politics. So, politics is a thing that's been going around, it's very quite popular. So, it's putting a lot of people into different spots that they never thought that they would have been in earlier on in the first place. So, I just want to say, you gave me a breath for a second. You're wrong. So what I want to say is that specifically, without doxing myself here, I'm trying to make sure this camera doesn't hit anywhere else. Without doxing myself, make sure to please subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like on this video so you can get this video anywhere else! And as always, stay safe out there, be informed, be informed leaders. And I want to do that outro at the first part of the video because, that's just how it works. So politics, the thing that's been going around has been putting people into very strange spots. So all I want to say is that currently, with the rise of misinformation, the misinformation drought, blah, 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 yada, yada, information war, Russia, Donald Trump, him doing anything, the Epstein files are coming to a close end. The Epstein files will be released within at least December if the vote happens to go as we need it. Donald Trump's been recently making all sorts of experiences up from within his mind as he rants to his reporters as of recently. He's trying to make up all sorts of stories because he just recently went from like, oh, yeah, please release the Epstein files. Go do it. Dare you. I dare you. It's okay. Go do it. Just release the Epstein files. And then now he's saying, okay, don't release the Epstein files. Major Taylor Greene's been on like the recent, political dive into, just ruining the Republican Party as a whole just recently. So, she mentioned lots of things. I also got to see Jasmine Crockett's response to the entire dilemma. And it fascinates me that Major Taylor Greene is actually turning around politically. But I also want to think that, Major Taylor Greene is not exactly the most honest person when it comes to things when she ever starts to craft up things to make her election more possible. Like Donald Trump throwing her out of the Senate election, and she's trying to go for that, and Donald Trump's recently trying to trash over her on X, Twitter, by the way, I'm going to call Twitter. On Twitter, I avoid as much as possible because I happen to not want to care, right? Now, if anybody sees anything weird in the background, it's because currently the people I'm around are preparing for something, and it's just nothing of my business. I happen to be here because I need to record a video that doesn't have a bunch of lawnmowers blowing in the background. You hate lawnmowers in the background. So, now, currently, I'm with Bernie Sanders, right? And I'm with Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom happens to be some of the very best Democratic leaders besides Roma Monday. By the way, congrats on the victories to all of you. I want to also get into the mind of the Japanese Prime Minister. The Japanese Prime Minister, lovely person. She even said something that I never would have thought another Japanese Prime Minister would have said within the next 2 years. It's that the Japanese Prime Minister just recently said, you know what, sleep is optional. Sleep is so optional. She sleeps 2 to 4 hours, that's okay, guys. Let's just make the labor laws, make it much more normalized, right? You voted in a Japanese Prime Minister that is incredibly against foreigners, that she calls foreigners. It's like saying illegal aliens, but for Japanese people. Like how you say white devils over in Japan, you say gaijin. And that's not what I would say, but your Japanese Prime Minister is quite passionate in the not sleeping thing, and the work labor laws being destroyed, all pelting around foreigners and making this higher hatred for them. The sensationalist content thing I mentioned long ago about Chris Bond and all this thing, that's happened to be connected and related to politics. And what shocks me is the amount of people that were driven in desperation during the Japanese Prime Minister elections that allowed this to happen in the first place. Japan was in this largest golden era. It was doing quite well. It's beating the United States in its own game, shaking everybody out of their seats, going, whoa. You saw all those videos from reaction channels that you love and adore, just like happening to land on Japanese content and then just, going away, right? Just to get views. Some of them stayed on this type of thing, they stayed on that similar type of content and they decided to continue to make videos right there, right? Like we have Iron Mouse resurfacing. The Streamer Awards are going on, by the way. Vote in Streamer Awards. Vote Iron Mouse for Best VTuber. That's what I want to say. Make her take it back. But somebody came in to the podium with a rape type of scythe weapon on her. Yeah, Mori Calliope and Chibidoki and this peanut whatever VTuber guy happened to take position next to Iron Mouse in the elections. So all I want to say is I'm biased. And so I want you all to vote for Iron Mouse. Even though Maury Calliope happens to be in there, I want to see how far we can take this competition type of thing going. So I know I'm not the type to usually say, hey, do this to compete with each other, say some really crazy strat to each other to see who wins, who's better. I never usually do that. But right now, I want to see if Iron Mouse or Maury Calliope wins. Who knows? It might be Chibidoku or the Peanut guy, but vote for Iron Mouse, vote for Maury Calliope. I want to see how far this goes. Because currently Stream Awards, I looked at their categories and there's some really, I don't get it. There's some choices that I don't get. Look, I looked at the music section for the Stream Awards and it looks so good. Anyways, that's a side rant. I'm talking politics. So all I want to say is Joe Biden recently came up, on his podium and made an entire message of a type of speech alerting about the oligarchy, growing expansively and successfully across the United States. I saw videos recently of just people going to these places where there's obviously MAGA cult fixation point in, and I saw all the sorts of spewed hatred from just a few people who happen to literally be loyal to anything Donald Trump says. So even as snap cuts happen to be going around the corner, nearing by, the government opening up, just so y'all know, sacrificed over 60 million people in the process. And those were not the Democrats. You thought the Democrats were doing the damage. No. Democrats aren't exactly the most perfect people. They've been on the I don't want to take risks type of route. I understand perfectly. But the Democrats weren't the ones cutting off over 60 million people from their SNAP benefits and healthcare benefits. No. That was not the Democrats. Those were the Republicans. They're killing off the Affordable Care Act, and they're cutting off SNAP, then they're cutting off, healthcare. That's over $1 trillion worth of expenses. And they cut off USAID, which has reportedly, under Elon Musk's, doing, his own doing, he cut it off, completely destroyed it, along with the Paris Agreement we had in the United States, and the other agreements we had with other countries, because Donald Trump happens to not care if we enter a war or not for that. Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people have died under Elon Musk's own doings. So, I just want you to get all into a perspective how serious this is. That's hundreds of thousands of preventable deaths that could cost less than a penny to fund, right? It takes 1 to 3 pennies to be able to keep some of these people alive. The type of ill patience I have in my body to just not scream right now in this video and just curse out all of these awful people who just cut their entire life support on some of these very poor people in countries that are currently under scrutiny right now. Hello, the Gen Z Revolution. That's a different video for another topic. That's another topic, for another day, for another video. All I want to say is, I know this video is longer than my age verification video I did for Roblox because I happened to try to get in a hurry. I know I don't have my Roblox set up on. I just want to say, keep faith, keep hope, have will, study, learn, stay safe, find informed leaders, join my Discord server, link in the description below. And that's all I have to say. I could go on every single thing that's gone wrong and every single thing that's gone right. And shout out to the VTubers who formed the very era that we're in. And shout out to the creators who are trying to form a new era that we're in. The world is in a really hard spot, but keep up the will. Nothing will get in between me and you. Nothing will get in between you and them. So right now, keep it alive. Stay peaceful. Don't do violence. Don't do crime. There could be some awful people out there, and they could be trying to instigate violence in you. Want to start a fist fight with you? Ignore them. Practice your rights. Residual in the freedom. Express yourself. Don't depress yourself. And show them what you got. Show them, the dictators, the power of the people. And as always, what you say about me is what you say about society. This is the Project Night here. And stay safe, and that's all I have to say.